All right. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Young. I like that, Mr. Young. I like that, man.
Thank you. Have a quiet voice.
I see Egypt on there.
All right.
I see China.
So, as you see behind me, okay, I was born in Russia. Voice off. Okay. So in Russia, where I was born, okay, was kind of next to the Black Sea. So I'm gonna actually zoom in so you guys can see a little better. All right.
Can we go closer?
Yep.
What part of Russia are you from?
I am gonna show you guys, and again, if you have questions, you can guys keep your mic muted and just type it in the chat for me, okay? So the part of Russia that I am from is right here. It's called Krasnodar. Okay. It's not part of Ukraine. It's actually part of Russia. Ukraine is actually right above right here. Okay. So for me, when I show people this, I tell them I was born actually next to the Black Sea, because right here's a little inland area where the Black Sea flows in. Okay, and it's right here. So that's where I was born. I'm gonna keep that up there, okay, so you guys can kind of. So starting off, I was born September 2nd, 1993. Okay, and my parents at the time, okay, were not taking care of me correctly. Okay, before I was born, my parents, they smoked. Okay, they drank, and there was some other stuff there that I can't really get into. Okay, but because of not being taken care of correctly, okay, what had happened was the Russian government said, we see that you cannot be responsible for your son or for your kid. Okay, so the Russian government came, put me in a hospital. While I was in the hospital as a baby, they said that I was going to be severely mentally challenged. Okay, and because of that, they stuck me in an orphanage for learning disabled children. Okay, and when I mean children, I'm talking about from baby up to like what, 10. So I was in the orphanage for about 3 years. While I was in the orphanage, my adoptive mom, she decided to go on a mission trip with her church over to Russia. As they were in Russia, they didn't just visit orphanages, they visited hospitals, schools. They also visited the places where they stayed. They visited with some of the homeowners and got to talk with them, eat some of the Russian food over there. Okay, I've eaten some Russian food made here by people who had visited Russia and who are from there. And so one of the orphanages they went to was the one that me and my adoptive brother were in. Okay. And the way I put it was, she saw my brother, but she heard me. Because apparently when they came into the orphanage, I apparently screamed my head off because I didn't know what was going on. Okay? Just like when you guys have a strange person walk in here who you don't know, you're like, what the heck is going on, right? Same with me, but that was multiplied by like 2 or 3 times. Because when you're that young, you don't know how to control your emotions, so you just let go. So anyway, I'm crying, I'm screaming, I don't know what's going on. All I know is this strange lady who just got done playing with Dimitri, which was my brother's name. She had been playing with him, she got done. She decided to come over to me and pick me up. Okay? So she comes over, picks me up. I apparently scream even louder. And as she's holding on to me, I apparently wrap my legs around her and I don't let go. So at that point, she knew she wanted to adopt Dmitry and Igor. Igor was my Russian name when I was in Russia. Okay. What my parents did when they adopted me, they switched the spelling of my name from Igor to Eager, so Eager, put that as my middle name, and changed my first name to Jonathan. So Jonathan Eager Young. Okay. So during the adoption process, okay, we came on over. My brother was 4, turning 5. I was 3 at the time.
If we weren't alone, I would have brought it to you.
Huh?
If we weren't alone, I would have brought it to you.
It's okay. His story is not as exciting as mine, so it's my turn. So the one time I was adopted was the only time I was adopted.
So my brother was 5, I was 3, and we came on over. We started staying at our new place with our new parents, our new lives. Come to find out, my dad at the time had just been released from prison. The only thing is, though, we didn't know that. And so because we didn't know that, they thought my dad was still in prison where he was. And so they go there looking for him so he can sign the papers to release me to the new family. But he wasn't there. Okay. So they're like, well, we can't find his dad. Okay. And they honestly they didn't know where my mom was at the time either. So they said, Nicholas, hand down. Thank you. I'll answer questions at the end, okay? So, because of that, they said, well, Igor, or Jonathan, has to come back to Russia and stay there until he is signed for, fully released, the documents are all put together, then he can go back. So they said, okay. And so they sent me back, and I stayed with a person named Olga. And Olga was the translator on the missions trip that my mom went on. Okay. Is all this making sense so far?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not understanding? That's okay. If you have questions, I will clear it up at the end. Okay. All right. So I go back. I'm staying with Olga. Okay. Now at the time, I actually have a brother and 2 sisters, biologically. And at the time, my brother and 2 sisters were staying with my grandmother. At the time, she was taking care of them. So, as they're looking for my dad, it takes them a year to find him. They find my dad actually staying with my grandmother at this time. The reason for that was because he didn't want to let me go. And he was trying to get my grandmother, it was either his mom or my mother's mom at the time, he was trying to convince her, and he was saying, can't you just take care of all of them together? So it'd be me, my brother, and my 2 sisters, right? Okay. So she goes, I would love to watch him, for him to be able to stay with his family. Okay. And at the time, it was probably the best thing for me. But when you're already taking care of 3 kids, okay, working with kids, taking care of kids, sometimes it's not the easiest job in the world. Okay?
Especially when you're older.
Yeah. And you'll understand that once you get our age. Okay. So she goes, look, he's gonna go with a good family. He's gonna get an education. He's gonna live a healthy, good life where he's going. She convinced my dad to sign the papers and to let me go. And so my dad signs the papers, and one of the guys on the mission trip actually stayed in Russia because while he was on the trip, he said, "Hey, I love it here. I like talking with people. I like the lifestyle." Okay. And so he decided to stay in Russia. So during my whole year there, he was already moving there. He had already moved there. He was already there. And he said, "You know what? Since Sean has to come back, I have to go back anyway to finish up some stuff in Arizona or in America, wherever he was staying." And he's like, "Jonathan can fly back with me. I'll bring him back to you." So, my dad signed the papers. I got released. I flew back, and the guy's name was Aaron. I flew back with Aaron, okay? And he's actually been in contact with me. And all these people, my brother, 2 sisters, Aaron, they've found me on Facebook. They friended me. The first time I got a message from my sister, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I was just like, "Who is this?" Okay. This day and age, you don't know who people are, so you kind of get over cautious about it, right? So I'm like, she's saying she's my sister, so I'm like, okay, which sister are you? And I had pictures, so I took a picture of the 2 pictures of my sisters. And she said, I am the one on the top or bottom. Okay. So we got in contact that way. We're still in contact. And in a nutshell, that's my story. Okay. So at this time, now is a good time to have questions. Before I leave, okay, I actually have video of me in the orphanage, and I'm just going to show small little tidbits, not the whole thing, okay? And I actually have some memorable stuff I had when I was a kid, and I'll show that all to you guys. So at this point, do we have any questions?
Kelton asked, what kind of food did you eat when you were little?
Ooh, Kelton, good question, bud. So the type of food I ate, okay. Now you got to remember, this was back before the 21st century, okay. And a lot of orphanages, hospitals didn't have a lot of money back then, especially in Russia. So the type of food they fed us, bread, of course. Of course they have water, okay. Another thing we drank, they had us drink coffee.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So food back then was kind of scarce, not really, but it was hard to get a hold of. Okay. Any questions from here? Okay.
How did the Russian citizenship and stuff like that work?
Work as I got older or as I was a kid?
How did you gain your citizenship? Is that what you're asking?
By living here. So I didn't have to do the whole take a test, say the Constitution. I didn't have to do all of that because I was so young. So if you come over at a certain age and you stay in the States, you kind of automatically gain that citizenship. Does that make sense?
Do you have dual citizenship or no?
I used to have dual citizenship. So the way the citizenship works in Russia is, if you leave Russia, let's say when you're a baby, okay, and you stay in America, any state in America, past 18, okay, so I'm 27, all right, so you stay in America past 18, Russia says, well, you're an adult now. You haven't lived in the States in Russia for your entire life. So we're going to renounce your citizenship over in Russia. And now I only have citizenship in here, in America. Funny thing is, we didn't know that until my brother was applying to go into the Coast Guard. And they asked him if he had dual citizenship. And he said yes. and so we had to go down to it was like the government building in Phoenix and talk to them about it, and that's when we found out. So at that point, he didn't have citizenship in Russia anymore. We didn't know that until they told us. Okay. We're gonna go Noah, then Izzy, and then Nicholas. Okay.
Do you like
So-
Himalayas?
Oh.
Is our the first name Aaron, I believe? Is he still in Russia, and does he have a family in Russia now?
Yes. So he still lives in Russia. He is married. I believe he has a son and 2 daughters.
And on top of that, does he have citizen in Russia and the U.S. or just Russia?
No, it's both.
Oh, yes, it's both.
Yeah. Since he came from America, America works a little differently, citizenship wise. So I believe he still has his citizenship here and there. So he actually has dual. Okay. Izzy,
Did you make, if you actually have to make enough challenges and so what were they?
say that one more time.
Do you really have to make challenges and so what were they?
I don't really have challenges. I have what they call a learning disability. Okay, it just means in some areas of life and of school, I may have trouble in than others. More trouble in. Okay. Back then, and understand, us as teachers, we never speak this over you guys. Okay. And back then, the term they use, all right, what's the word retarded? Okay, so they basically said I would not be able to learn at all. Okay. One of the reasons for this story is to show you guys that sometimes doctors and psychiatrists don't always get it right. Right? Does that kind of answer your question a little bit? Okay. Understand a lot of these words and phrases I'm using. Okay. I'm gonna ask you guys not say it to your other friends. Okay. If you're at home with your parents and you tell them, and you kind of give them a rundown of what happened, and if you have questions, they can answer that for you. Okay.
And understand, he overcame a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't easy, and he had to fight.
Yeah. Nicholas, what's your question?
Go. I'm thinking. The Himalayas.
What about the Himalayas?
You have been there before?
No.
Well, you have been to Himalayas before?
No, do you have another question?
Yeah.
No, I haven't either. I have to do Alex.
Oh, something.
I did that last.
Kelton, I'm gonna answer Noah's first, and I'll go to you, bud. Okay? Can you type your question in the chat there for me? Thank
Have
you.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you gone back to Russia and like seen Aaron or your
I haven't.
family at all?
No.
No. Would you plan on going back?
No.
I had thought about it, especially as a kid. You know, and at that age, especially when you're thinking about it and talk about it, you get excited because you want to go to different places. You want to explore. You want to see. You know, especially places where you were born or where you're from.
Yeah. Do you think you'd ever go back?
I don't know. Maybe. It costs a lot of money
Yeah.
to go there. You know, plane ticket alone is probably only cost me $1,000, $2,000.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Plus, right now with everything going on, travel's a little harder right now too.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, we'll see. Also, if I go back, I'd be in that mindset of what would I say? What would I do? I haven't seen my family since I was 3, since I was a baby. So, it's either going to be a good experience or a bad, you know. And so there's just a lot of things that I got to decide if I want to do that.
Understandable.
Plus, you get at my age, you get to a point to where you just want to live your life. You don't really kind of think about going other places, you know.
So you said your other siblings were in contact with your biological father?
Your grandma, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever considered
considered.
like being in contact with them?
Like your
They actually
parents.
contacted me.
Your biological
parents?
father?
No. So my biological parents both died.
Oh,
I've never met them. And my biological sisters and my brother, all three of them have reached out to me. Okay. My grandparents, I haven't met them, and they've passed away. And understand, I'm okay telling you guys this. Sometimes these stories aren't the easiest to tell. Okay. It just comes from telling it for so many times that I'm okay telling you guys this. Noah, hold on a second. I think Kelton had a question.
just
Were you talking about the Russian language, Kelton? So was the Russian language different than modern Russian language? I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Here's why. I've lived in the States for 20 years, 20 plus years. Okay. For living here that long, my brother and I, we never really spoke Russian to each other. When we first came here, yeah, we did, because that's all we knew. But as time grew on, we started learning English, and all we spoke was just English. And so I remember small words like spasiba, pожалуйста, airplane, samolot, watermelon, which is abus. Okay, I remember words like that, simple words. Speaking in phrases or having an actual conversation with people in Russian, I'm not going to be able to do that unless I relearn Russian. Okay. Alex, I think you had some questions, but didn't you? No? Are you understanding it now? Okay. Nicholas, what's your question?
It's cold in the Himalayas. It's cold.
In the Himalayas?
It's cold.
Yeah, well, Russia
There's-
Russia itself is a very cold country.
Okay, we need to stay on topic.
There's a snowman
We're talking
there.
about Russia.
Okay.
Well, it's MOSCOW.
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 Good.
Moscow, Russia.
So he brought up a good point about it being cold. Russia is known for being super cold. Okay. And so that's why they call us Russians cold-blooded.
I'm so
They think we're
sorry.
used to the cold. But after living here for so long, your blood accumulates and you get used to the weather here. So I'm not really as used to the cold as some people think. But sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It depends. We're going to go Colin, then Kelton. Just because I know you're going to have a lot.
Noah.
Oh, Noah. Colin, then Noah. Because I know you have a lot of questions, so I'm trying to
I only have one.
give other people some turn.
In 1993, was it the USSR? I don't know when it changed.
I believe it was. The country was known as Russia, but I want to say like the military was known
It
as
was the
the.
military and the government.
Yeah,
It
the
was
military and the
USSR.
government was known as the USSR.
I don't know when it changed. I'm not
Mhm.
sure.
It changed like early 2000s to full on
No, it was
Russia.
90.
I think it had changed after the wall fell,
Yeah.
the Berlin Wall. If you guys learned about that.
Late 50s.
Yeah.
He said, is Russia colder than Utah?
Is Russia colder than Utah? Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I saw a video. One of the ways Russians kind of get used to the blood is they'll take the kids at a very young age. Okay. They'll take them out into icy waters, and as they're holding on to the baby, they don't like just drop them in there. They'll hold on to them. They'll dip them in,
Oh.
and then they'll pull them back out. So they do that just to kind of get their blood accumulated to the cold and get used to that lifestyle of living there. Nicholas, what's your question?
Well, Iceland.
Iceland is nowhere near there.
There's ice there.
I know, but
It's grass on ice.
No way.
Are you able to go over what happened to your parents or no?
no, not really.
What happened?
See, at the time, I was writing letters back and forth to my grandmother, and of course my brothers and sisters would input here and there. And when they told me what happened, I kind of really don't remember because it was so long ago. Do I remember how I felt? Especially after my mom died and I knew both my parents were gone and I wasn't going to be able to know them and see them. At a young age, again, you don't really know how to control your emotions. So I kind of took it a little bit harder than some people do. But as time grew on, I got used to them being gone and everything, just like you do with a normal family, right? You go through that grieving process. So, okay.
Some, it takes longer for other people.
Yeah,
Like I'm
some
still
it does.
grieving a family
Nice.
member. Yeah.
Nicholas, last question, bud.
What about your grandfather?
Do you what about him? You want to know about him or just in general?
Do you miss your grandfather?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
What happened to your grandfather? What happened?
I'm not gonna get into those details either. Okay.
Did he pass away?
They did, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Does
Okay.
he miss you?
Hmm?
He misses you?
Oh, I miss him.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Which world is he from?
Oh, they're from
Yes,
Russia too.
it's-
From Russia?
Yeah.
I've never been in Russia before.
I know.
So far.
Calm body.
Yes, thank you.
All right. My friends online, before I move on, any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Young.
Kelton, what's up?
My guess is because my guess is Russia is so cold, some people could have died of cold. The cold.
Well, it's called hypothermia.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do the last question, then I can move on to some other stuff here. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
What type of clothing would they wear like during the day and night?
So, funny thing is, I actually have some of the clothing I wore in the orphanage.
Oh.
And I'm going to show that to you guys. Okay.
Good
Before I
question.
do that, I'm going to show you a video of Russia itself and the orphanage. Okay. So I'm kind of going to speed through it just because there's certain parts I can show, but certain parts I can't. Okay. All right. So my friends, let me pull up the. All right, Kelton, can you see the? Okay, let me
I see
reshare.
it.
It's in VCO.
There you go.
Oh, where's the video?
It's probably on the
I could always look up that video later.
Can you see now?
You see the DNA.
Actually, I need to include sound. Sorry, guys. There's just a lot of steps to.
Change format.
Mr. Young,
What's up?
I can always learn it later.
Learn what? Russian?
Yeah, Russia later.
Any language you guys can learn is good. It's gonna help not just if you go to another country, but job-wise too. Some jobs, actually a lot of jobs, prefer you guys to be bilingual, to know multiple languages.
And it'll improve your brain.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I meant the history of Russia.
All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this. All right. So I'm gonna skip forward here. All right. This part doesn't have sound in it.
Now, how you guys are gonna decide?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting architecture.
Yeah.
And this is not.
Okay, so that's one of the buildings. I'm not sure which part of Russia this is in, but that's one of the buildings, one of the areas they visited. Okay. And as you see on the mission trip, not only do you kind of visit the whole country, okay, not just certain places. So they kind of got to do some sightseeing, see what the buildings were like, what everything.
Well,
Like-
it's kind of like Big Ben.
Okay. If you guys are familiar with St. Petersburg,
Yeah.
there's a cathedral there, and my parents have a picture with me and my brother, and them standing in front of it. Okay. And I'm gonna fast forward through a lot of this. All right. This is the only part I can show you. I can't really show you anything beyond this. This is one of the hospitals they visited. At the hospitals, they handed out vitamins, some others, medical stuff to help them along with what they're doing. Okay. So I'm gonna move forward. Okay. A dish that's really popular in Russia, sour cream. Okay. So with the soup here, I'll see if I can find it. They were. I don't think it's in this one. Okay. So, do you remember me talking about someone named Olga? Okay. This person right here, this is Olga. Okay. That is the person I stayed with when I had to go back a year while they were looking for my dad to release me to my family. Okay. She was a translator for the mission, for the team that went on the mission trip. She did all the translating for them. Okay. And right now they're actually in the orphanage. So they're in like the lobby area. Okay. And they're kind of going over what to expect when you go inside the orphanage, how the kids act, what to do, what you can do, what you cannot do. And another part I can show is they're going to hand them like certain vitamins to kind of give to the kids to help medical wise with them. Okay. So I can show you that part. All right. So there they're handing them the vitamins. Here, you see this bag right here? They also brought toys because they knew they're going to be visiting kids. So they're like, we're going to bring toys and we're going to make the kids like us. Okay? And so they, not only do they hand them toys, they have toys themselves to be able to play with the kids, kind of make them feel a little more at home, a little more welcome that way too, okay? Thank you. So, I think it was this guy right here. This is Aaron. Okay. He was the one who brought me back from Russia after all the documents and everything were filled up for me to come to America, to here. Okay. Okay. So that kid was having a little fun there. All right, I'm gonna see if I can go back. No, that wasn't me. That was
Rocky, stop.
Trying to find. So again, the kids are just having fun. They're just, it's part of them screaming.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
There we go. Oh, that is Dimitri. Okay.
Your brother?
That's my brother. So, my friends online, this is Dimitri. Guys, wave hi. Say hi, Dimitri. So, Dimitri, him and I are related only through the adoption. We're not blood brothers, and we're biological, okay? and he's 2 years older than me. Okay, and like I said, when our mom, our adoptive mom, you'll see here in a second, when they came in, she saw him first. She started playing around with him. Okay.
Is that your adopted mom?
Who? This?
Yeah.
No. Okay, if you heard that little in the background there, that was me. Okay, I'll see if I can find one. Oh. All right. Everybody wave hi. Say hi, Igor.
Hi.
That's you.
This is me.
That's awesome.
Okay.
There's Mr. Young, guys.
It's like a before and after.
That's me as a kid. Came down right now.
Say hi, Mr. Young.
He was young when he was young.
This lady right here. Okay. She was our lifesaver. Literally. Okay. This is Vivian Christine Young. Okay. She was born, she's from Dayton, Ohio. When she moved here, she married Rich Young. Okay. Our dad, who turned into our dad when we got adopted. All right. And you can't hear it now, but like I said, I was frantic. I was screaming, I was crying. I didn't know what was going on. Okay. And so, if you guys want to grab lunch, go ahead and do that now. I also have some memorable things with me, clothes,
Hey, Mrs. Brown.
other stuff I can show you guys as you grab your lunch.
Put it down, I'll get it.
Okay.
Mr. Young.
And my friends online, if you guys want to start eating lunch and stay online, I'll show you some of the things that I brought to show the class.
Totally up to you guys. If you guys want to stay online and keep watching and eat lunch while you do that, you can. Up to you guys.
What do you think so far, Eric?
It's good.
It's really interesting.
Mr. Young, talking while the guys here eat. So you guys, it's your choice.
All right. So to start off, okay.
That's up to you.
These gloves I wore here
Mrs. Brown, I'm
on
John.
my way here in the orphanage. Okay. They're tethered together so I wouldn't lose them. Okay. And if you guys weren't eating, I would pass this around so you guys can take a look at it. Okay. Really quickly, I'll just walk around with it so you guys want to at least feel it. You can see what they feel like.
Is it like
Mrs.
hot?
Brown?
Oh yeah, it's just well,
CJ, I'm going to the restroom real quick before you go.
It's like steel wool.
Mrs. Brown?
CJ, I'm going to the restroom real quick before you go.
Mrs. Brown?
And is that
Close my head
like,
off and laptop.
oh, it's like a cord you get, yeah, like a cord you get like on,
I get it right
okay.
something else I brought. Okay, so my friends online,
Wow.
these are the shoes I wore when I was in the orphanage. Okay. And again, you got to remember back then, not a lot of money at the time, not a lot of resources. So we kind of had to share with the girls a little bit. All right. So these ones, if you guys are careful with your food, don't get food on them. I can pass these around with you. You can take a look at them. Pass them around to your other classmates there.
Little girl shoes.
Yep.
Oh, I want a big, I'll just my size.
All right. This was one of the many shirts that I wore when I was there. Somehow I had it, and I kept it when they brought me over. Okay.
Very interesting.
Did you let
I don't know.
Alex look at them? Okay.
Did you wear one of those Russian hats that are black?
No, and pass that around. Take a look at that.
They look like they're cool.
Alright, I would wait.
And that was it. What's up?
Did you also
Shelton?
wear those Russian hats? They're like furry. They're really tall and furry.
No, we were inside a lot. We didn't really. I mean, we had our outside time, of course, but we stayed inside a lot, so we didn't really wear those big old hats.
Yeah.
Those are what I.
I can see back in the day, these horses. I can see like
Especially
they
for
have like enough food for enough money for food.
I don't know if I think fair. What I did tell him was because of how things were back then, we had to share clothes with girls. So we had to wear some girl clothing, some not.
But
Was
like,
this already
did you
on?
have anything wrong with your feet, or were they all
No.
hard like this?
Was this already? Oh, sorry.
I think this is due to time also, but I think a lot of them were kind of hard like this.
There's a thing already on it. I don't know if it was there before,
Oh,
right?
that's fine.
Was
Yeah.
that there?
That's probably already there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, would it be?
And of course,
Because it's like dried, I was just asking. It's adorable.
Oh, did you
Has like a
really
mini
walk
sailboat and
Oh, I don't
stuff.
know.
I mean, you had to like really walk like
Yeah.
this.
Did it have like a
They're
sailboat
so
and a
cute
sun?
though.
Has a
Aww.
little sailboat and a sun.
Mhm.
Cool.
His J's. He's rocking his J's.
I would wear those if
All right.
I
William, can you take your headphones out for a second? Take your headphones out so I'm done, bud. Okay, I know you're on lunch, but go ahead and take the headphones out, okay? So say thank you, and for doing a good job listening, waiting to the end to answer questions, and for letting me come to your class. As always, you know, we always have incentives, okay, and it's a way for me to say thank you. So,
You have to.
You didn't have to do that.
First broken.
You didn't have to bring candy to us.
First broken.
If anything, we should give candy to you. To
Why?
tell us a story.
Mr. Young,
what's up?
is there any Russian candy?
There is, but I don't have any. There's
should,
special
though.
stores
Try to
I'd
find
have to go to get those.
Hi, Alex.
Got it.
Okay.
If anything, we should give you the candy that we get. For him telling us a story as a thank
Mr.
you.
Young, I know one word in Russian.
It's amazing.
Miss Brown. Miss
Mr.
Brown.
Young,
Thank you, Mr. Young.
You're
For
welcome.
telling us the story.
Mr. Young. I know
Shelton,
one.
real quickly, I gotta go, bud.
All right, bye.
No, go ahead and tell me.
Oh, television.
Sorry, I thought you said my name.
Television.
The what?
in Russian.
Never mind then.
What do you think?
What did you
Television.
say, Calvin?
Television in Russian.
Back then it was very old.
Yeah, but
We
the
didn't
mod-
watch television back then.
yeah,
So-
but like the word television in modern is different.
Oh, I don't know the word television in Russian.
My brother taught me. He learned Russian in high school.
Okay. I gotta go to my next class, but okay?
Bye. Have a good day, Mr. Young. Thanks for the story. It was really interesting.
You're welcome, buddy.
All right, guys.